Good morning from Reid Harbor. So today we get to go to Stuart, and I think we're actually going to end up in Reid Harbor today. So it's kind of windy. Forecasts are 15, gusting 20. Most likely we'll be on the nose. We'll see how it is. So, but it is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. It's about 70 degrees. So we're looking forward to about an 8 nautical mile jaunt. We'll raise our sails. We'll most likely put a reef in it just to be kind of on the conservative side. That way we don't have to manhandle too much of the boat. After all, we are cruising, we're not racing. So yeah, we're going to get ready here in a little bit and take off. Awesome. Okay, so we are getting ready to leave Reid Harbor. It's going to be a fun little push out. The wind is on our nose, and we should have plenty of room to get out of here, but you never know. Myself, we want to go a little bit further. So one more time, we have the Iron Jenny going on. The wind keeps coming in and out, so we kind of decided to get by one of these little islands over here, which I believe is Jones Island, and then hopefully we'll get out of the fetch. We'll get into the fetch that's coming from way back over. Well, right now Jones is most likely going to create another wind shadow here shortly, so we'll continue this way. So it's turning into a bit of a sporty day here, so we're finally getting some wind, so we'll see how the consistency goes. We're actually, interesting enough, more of a close reach, almost beam reach going to where we're going right now, so I was a little surprised. I figured we'd be actually doing a little bit more in the close cold department. So, but we haven't kind of passed the influence of these islands yet, so we'll see what happens. So we're seeing true wind speeds of about between 12 and 15 right now. So. There went 16, 17. So in true San Juan fashion, we went from 16, 17 knot winds to 5 down Spiden Island ahead of us. We're actually going sideways currently, compliments of the current, because basically the wind is 0. We are hoping that we're seeing a wind line ahead of us, but I'm not sure at this point in time. So we may have to fire up the engine again. It's like, whoosh. Because it literally has us going to that shore right now. That's what the currents are showing. So Iron Jenny back on. We started getting in a bit of a tide drift and twirling around, and just like we got to get out of here. So we were actually getting pushed, believe it or not, back towards the shore behind us, helping us with the current. So yeah, all the fun intricacies of sailing the San Juan Island. Makes it kind of entertaining, I guess. We went ahead and rolled up the head sail. Our view right now shows pretty calm wind-wise, so we decided instead of plugging the head sail and also kind of a massive impedance to our forward view, we decided to bring it in, get around Spiden, and once we get around Spiden, we'll reevaluate what's going on. We're definitely in an area with lots of tide drift. Looking at the water around us, it's very active, to say the least. So we made it to the north side of Spiden. It's a little lumpy back here, a lot of tide drift. We're actually going almost 7 knots, compliments of the current. But yeah, a little bumpy. We see a definite wind line in front of us, but I I'm a little skeptical that's where we really want to go. So anyway, enjoying the ride. We are still on the north side of Spiden. It has calmed down a little bit. Get a nice little almost 2 knot lift. Kind of interesting. Spiden, I guess, used to be populated with African safari type animals back in the day. So I'm not sure what the full extent of that was, but supposedly that giraffes, elephants, and all the other ones. So yeah, very interesting. It does not look like we're going to be sailing anymore from this point forward. I'm looking ahead of us. I really do not see a whole lot of ripple water, if that makes sense. But well, we had a pretty nice spirited sail, so I'm not going to complain about it. And the trip is not over yet. So. It's like some of these little sailboat fenders.
A little further up, isn't it?
I think it's where the other sailboats are, where the far end are. I think we might be able to fit in there. Be a little tricky. But we'll spin it around.
I wonder what's on the backside. We're shallow enough we could go on the inside. Or you're worried about getting out then. I know.
So I think was the right.
I don't know.
It'd be a bit of a bitch to put all the parking in there. Well, that was a Captain Ron moment if there ever saw one, so it worked out. Awesome. We have officially arrived. So, made it to Stuart Island over in Reid Harbor. Totally parallel parked the boat. I kind of like to call it, for all you fans of Kurt Russell, a Captain Ron parking job, that's for sure. It was tight, but we fit. We did a nice job. Came in, we didn't hit anything, so it's a good thing. So today, I think we give up our points for entertainment and instead get some points for seamanship. It's about time. Awesome. Well, we are off to take a hike to the lighthouse here from Reid Harbor. So first step is kind of climbing up a pretty crazily steep ramp. Okay, now this is not going to be half as steep on video, but man, trying to climb up this ramp, holy cow, just check how steep that is. So, oh my. So you'll get a view of Kathy behind me trying to climb these ramps. I mean, it's like, it is out of control. But once you get up here, it is worth it. So we're just winded, and all we did was just leave the boat. Jeez, not good. Anyway, so we have two options for hiking. One is hang a right, and it goes, it's about an hour hike, pretty nice. The other is hang a left, go to the lighthouse. That's where we're going. And if we go straight ahead, we hit Provost Harbor. So yeah, awesome. Okay, so the trip to the lighthouse begins by basically walking, what would you call this, to the north cap. And
Yeah.
so, and it shows this county road and Provost Loop. So there's actually an easier way to get to the lighthouse than going all the way to the county road. And it saves you what we affectionately call death by 1,000 steps. So yeah, we'll kind of show you the little shortcut over here. Beautiful, in the shade, very nice. So as you continue the hike, you will come across this cool little sign over here. And this is kind of the landmark that tells you, don't go straight, turn right at this location. Now, we're going to walk just a ways down the opposite direction, just so you can see what we're talking about. Because literally, if you go down this direction here, you get to a little landing, and I can't remember how far it goes, but you literally have to take steps that get you all the way down to way the heck down there. So yeah, trust me, not a lot of fun. We don't particularly enjoy it. This other route that we're going to show you in this direction is ups and downs and a very pleasant path. You cut out a fair amount of this county roadway, which is not that great. So this is more fun to hike in. So basically, we have a sign. We walk down here and hang the first left that you come up to, which is here shortly. I believe if you go straight, that's Provost Loop. Yes, that gets you back to the other side. If you go down this direction, it heads you out to the light station. So yeah, nice little pro tip for hiking Stuart Island. So you might be able to see the county road that those stairs lead to is right down there. So it should show up somewhere. But you can just come back from over this down that hill. It is, we're all a little breathless right now, to be quite frank. I must admit my my PD issue with my leg has been aggravated a little bit this time this year. So making this trek has been a little bit more difficult. But thank goodness, what you're not seeing is that I have a walking stick attached to my 360. So awesome, definitely helps out a lot. So this is kind of the magic path that shows, whoops, almost tripped. So it shows that we're coming to the spot where we merged with the road. So from the other side, you really can't tell this is a trail. But yeah, this actually cuts off a bunch of pretty boring county roads and gets you going at a decent spot. Plus, there's a surprise waiting to be seen. Let's see what happens here shortly. And the big surprise is you run into what we called the treasure chest, which is basically you can buy a bunch of t-shirts, hats, etc. There are in these chests, and inside the chest it actually has all the wares and goods. You pick your favorite color, size, and then you basically on the honor system pay either by check later on or by PayPal or Venmo or whatever. Super cool. 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago, we met the lady, right?
Yeah.
And so I got to hear her story and how she does it. So yeah, super cool. We've definitely bought things here a time or two. And then this gets you on the road. So we have the school, I think it's the schoolhouse and the building over there and the library. Museum. So yeah, so now it's pretty much kind of this dirt road for a bit longer. So, and it goes all the way down to kind of a T intersection where you kind of, I'm not sure you would call it town, but you hit like a little official looking docking area. And then from that point on, we'll actually go ahead and start walking towards the lighthouse. So a lot of fun, awesome. So not a sign you expect to see out here in Stuart, but guess what? There's actually a small grass strip GA airport here. So we'll make the corner and check it out real quick. There's also some pretty cool houses and other areas over here. So
yeah, airport code is 2WA3. It's Stuart Island West Airport.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now the good news is that as you're flying down the hill here, I know this is a 360 and we don't need to do this, you do have a nice open area that goes all the way down to the ocean. There is actually an easier way to get here too, is you can actually dinghy over from Provost, or
Provost,
yeah, from Provost Island you can actually dinghy over to the dock over here and pretty much avoid most of the walk that we're doing right now. So anyway, kind of fun information to know.
Canada over there.
Oh, Kathy's reminding us that we can see Canada from our trail. Awesome. So here's the T in the road. Go left and you go over to the lighthouse. Then go right and you head down to kind of the, again, I'm not sure we'd call it a little town, but that's kind of where they have the dock. And look, there's another treasure chest here. So this is kind of a mini one on this side. So yeah, so we are going to be kind of taking the trip up to the lighthouse. Awesome. So we are starting down this road. Interesting enough, this is, what do you think, at the halfway point?
Halfway point, yeah.
Yeah, so you think, oh, hey, we're at the T intersection, we're almost there. Well, actually, you are not. You're halfway there. So there is a kind of an interesting amount of elevation you have to lose, really. And then you finally get over there. So I'm not sure why you're doing that, Kat. It doesn't make any difference.
Oh, does it?
It's a 360-degree camera.
Okay, so it's all the way.
So it's all the way, yes. Awesome. Good deal. Hey, we learn something every day, right, Kat?
Indeed.
So this is the little private airport that's out here. No airplanes here today, but you can see this is kind of the little area that normally when we come up here, there's normally a plane here. So, and you can see in the distance where kind of the runway. So I'm assuming you land one direction, take off the other, because it's there's definitely trees at the one end, and it's definitely a pretty good clip going downhill. So yeah, pretty cool though. So we've been hiking for a little bit down the road here, and we are now hitting, I believe, the actual national forest part of it. Prior to now, we've been in private land. So our next step is to look for our next landmark, which we will show you once we get there. Awesome. So turns out our next landmark was only a dozen paces away from there. So anyway, that car's been down there for quite a while. Looks like something in the maybe 50s. I'm not sure how long it's been down in that particular area. So, but I'm sure it's been down there for quite a few years. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of our next kind of a landmark. So really from here, it goes uphill just to go way downhill. Wouldn't you agree with that, Kath?
I'm not so way downhill.
Oh, it goes way downhill. It's pretty steep. So you'll be checking it out soon. Awesome. So we begin our descent down to the lighthouse. So most likely the camera doesn't do it justice, but it's kind of steep going down there. It was kind of steep a little bit behind us actually, and there was quite a few like loose rocks. So anyway, it's always fun when you climb just so you can go back down to sea level again. It's all good though. It's a beautiful hike. It's been nice in the shade. It's actually been, I mean, for June, it's been what?
Yes.
Beautiful.
60,
yeah,
high 60s, yeah.
Can't complain. So yeah, it's been pretty wonderful so far. And to quote Pocahontas, just around the river bend, that would be Pocahontas the movie, by the way. Here is the actual lighthouse. A couple of interesting.
Light station.
My wife just corrected me. It's actually a light station. So what it is, it was actually a foghorn and a light back in the day. So if you come here expecting to see a Fresnel lens lighthouse, you will be disappointed, unfortunately. But it's been replaced by kind of an automatic deal from the U.S. Coast Guard. But it's a very nice example of a very, very well kept lightkeeper's house. Certain times of year they'll actually have docents there, and you can take a tour of the lighthouse. It's pretty cool. not the lighthouse, the lightkeeper's house. And the other cool thing about this place is they have the nicest porta potty you have ever seen. Well, it's definitely a little dark in this restroom, but when was the last time we saw a restroom that had like paintings up and yeah, flowers and all in a porta? Well, it's not a porta potty, but it's really a outhouse. So yeah, pretty cool. So, and here we are at the Turn Point Light Station. So pretty cool. A very nice part of the world. You have a beautiful view of Canada ahead of us. We'll be checking that out shortly. And supposedly, from time to time, you can see orcas here, although we never have. So, of course, we've never seen orcas, period. So, that ain't saying much, right, Kat?
That's not saying much at all.
Yeah. So, that's down there is the actual lighthouse per se. And I believe, I'm sorry, light station. And I believe the new automated Coast Guard stuff is right ahead of it. So, and across the way, I believe that's South Pender Island. You can even see the Canadian ferries going back and forth over there. So yeah, it's a nice view. Geesh. So you also get to see some pretty big giant ships coming around the corner over here. So hence the name Turn Point. We actually have come around this corner ourselves with Artemis to go into Reid Harbor, which is actually just to the right of here. So, and then from Prevost, we've gone straight across over to South Pender to Poets Cove, which is normally where we would check into Canadian immigrations. But yeah, pretty cool seeing big boats. Well, we figured we'd walk all the way down to the light station and check it out. Not open today. Normally when it's open, there's a little gift store in there. It's pretty cool. So, in theory, you should be able to see whales here, but we haven't really seen anything, so. Kathy's enjoying actually having some service on her phone right in front of the lightkeeper's house. So, how's it going, Kath?
It's going well. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's comfortable here. Sun on me.
And we just
Nice
did have a
breeze.
packed lunch too that Kathy made. It was very yummy. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. It's a
So
pleasure.
awesome. So while we are here, we decided to pull the dinghy up, check the bottom out. Once it starts getting really green, it becomes pretty tough to clean. And in the same time, we decided to do a little bit of service on our AZ numbers. So we actually use a magic marker, since that's kind of been our best luck so far. Every year we have to renew it, but no big deal. So Kathy's doing a very nice job. We're on day 2 here, Kath? And so, yeah, so tomorrow we will be leaving. But in the meantime, I got some jobs done around the boat, so it's a good thing. So nicely done, Kath. So tomorrow we are off to Reid Harbor. So prior to leaving tomorrow, we need to kind of check the tides, see where they're at, check the currents, and kind of figure out what time we need to leave to make sure that the currents are not against us. Also have a good idea of what time low tide is going to be also. So the way to do that is really, there's a couple folds. First of all, there's a current atlas that's out there for the Straits of Juan de Fuca. So you can buy this, and then every year you can download from the internet kind of almost an almanac that goes that corresponds to this particular guide. And on the almanac, it gives a whole series of dates and times, and you just find today's date, the time you're leaving. It gives you a page number in here. You flip to the page number, and voila, you get kind of a graphical representation of what the tides look like. I mean the currents look like. So anyhow, we used to use this, but then we found there's an app which is basically identical to this, but it's basically on the iPad or your phone, 25 bucks, and it just saves you the trouble to kind of go through page by page. It also makes it a little bit easier to be able to go through and go hour by hour to see what's really the best time to leave. So we will now transition to the iPad, and I'll show you exactly how we do that. Awesome. So part of our routine before heading out in the morning on all of our trips is to check a few crucial items: the weather, the the tides and the current, and also take a quick look at the route that we're going to take. So we use Predict Wind for our weather. It's similar to Windy, but I like the format on it better. It is a yearly subscription, but I think it's only like $15 and it's well worth it. So tomorrow for Roche Harbor, looking at kind of we're predicting being there between 6 and 7 in the morning. We're looking at the European model, which is the ECMWF, and with that we're looking at winds between 8 and 11, gusting to looks like between 10 to 15, 17, that range. So nothing too exciting. We'll try looking at the maps. I actually like to look at that. We do have very poor internet connectivity right now, so we'll see what we can, what will actually come up here on this. So it may or may not come up. And was the map options also allows you to show the gusts, which is actually pretty interesting to see what the deal is. So we'll give it a couple of seconds, see if it comes up. If not, we may have to skip. I said, unfortunately, over here in Reid Harbor, it has not been great. So, and it continues to go. So we'll go back to that. I'm not sure if it'll load or not. The one thing I do have is we also have the Navionics on the iPad, and that allows us to take a quick look at what our plan is for tomorrow. The nice thing about Navionics is you can do an auto route, so you can at least have an idea of what route you can take, and then you can go ahead and put it in the GPS and adjust it as you see fit based on what your thoughts are, and etc. etc. So this is already showing Roche Harbor where we're going tomorrow. So we are over here in Stuart. So we're going to basically come back here to Roche, and we'll just put a point here, and we'll see what it's planning. So it's telling us that our route for tomorrow is going to be 4.5 nautical miles. So everything works well. It should be about an hour. Again, we're assuming we're going to kind of motor this. We've been to Roche a few times, so we're pretty aware of what's going out there. So what our plan is most likely we're going to go down to this area where I put the dot on and anchor in the neck of the woods until we're able to actually get into our slip. Now, there is definitely a minus tide tomorrow. So if we look at the tides for tomorrow, there's actually a tide station right here in Roche Harbor. And we can see that tomorrow morning as we kind of head over there around 6 a.m., it's going down. And then by the time we hit noon, I think it's -2. But I think when we arrive there, it's going to be somewhere in the 8:30 range. So it'll be down -3 from the flood. So then last but not least, we go into our current atlas and see what the currents look like. This is unfortunately a portrait piece of software, so you have to kind of I have to turn my iPad around a little bit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put in tomorrow's date, which is the 12th, and we're going to start bright and early and work our way up and see what it looks like. Now, I've already looked at this. As we start at 5 o'clock in the morning and we zoom in here onto Roche Harbor, 5 o'clock looks like it'd be very, very doable. 6, the currents start kind of working out the way against us, but it's still going down into Roche still looks okay. And then by the time you start hitting 7 o'clock, the currents are really going to be against us. 8 o'clock, it's oh my. And it gets progressively worse as the day goes by. Up until around noon, it looks a little kind of disparate, but then by 1 o'clock it starts picking up again, and you're still facing some pretty hefty currents against the direction we want to go. So if we want to be thinking about leaving sometime around 6, it will be perfect. But unfortunately, we don't want to do that. So yeah, anyway, so our plan right now is most likely will be to leave tomorrow morning around 6. And even that might be a little late. So we'll try to get up as early as possible to kind of get out there, because if we wait too long, 7 o'clock is going to look pretty gnarly. Only good, the good news is that once we get past Stuart Island, then the currents start becoming in our favor. So anyway, just something that I thought we would share with you. We'll go back one more time to predict when to see, by some luck, the actual wind maps have come up, and it appears that it is still working and the internet is still not helping us out here. So anyway, hopefully you found this interesting. This video, hit subscribe and give us a big like down below. Thanks for watching.